Greetings and salutations, my friends. As promised, today I'm going to talk about Liverpool, not the Football Manager Liverpool, the real life Liverpool. I haven't prepared anything. I'm just going to waffle and rant and discuss and talk about random shit that's been going on with Liverpool. So, as you might have seen, if you're a Liverpool fan, and probably if you're not a Liverpool fan, we're quite shit at the moment. And that's due to a sort of multitude of reasons, but there is one major overriding factor which I want to talk about. I also want to talk about some of the punditry on Match of the Day. Oh my God, it's awful. It's awful. And other stuff like that. So, first off, obviously Liverpool have hit a sort of big slump at the moment, right? The way Liverpool play is the gegenpress, right? Which is basically a German word for just running at people, just closing them down, don't give them any time or space, win the ball back and attack, right? That's basically what it is in a nutshell. Move the ball quickly, all that good stuff, right? Basically, it's a really good system and it's really enjoyable to watch, and early season it's not been used to that high a degree in the Premiership probably ever, right? Teams have closed down, yes, but not to this crazy amount of degree that we do, the amount of running that we do, and that's all good, and it was working brilliantly. The trouble is, teams have figured it out, right? There is a clear reason. Every team has slumps and bad periods and all that sort of stuff, and people will have arguments about why that team is playing badly and what's gone wrong and how can they fix it and stuff. The most annoying part of this slump for me is it's so fucking obvious. Right, it's clearly obvious, okay? It started with the fact that all you need to look at is our results against the big teams and the results against the little teams. It's not because the big teams are shit and the little teams are good, is it? It's basically because if a team comes to us and attacks us and wants the ball and tries to keep possession, then we have an amazing chance, because that's how, when the gegenpress works, that is when it's perfect use. But the trouble is, the smaller teams have realised that we just need to defend more. We need to just defend in numbers. Let Liverpool have the ball. Who cares? If we can't gegenpress if we've got the ball. And what's happening now is our possession stats are shooting right up. It's a ridiculous amount of possession. And we're doing nothing with it because they've got two banks of four, often even with an extra man. And then what they'll do is they'll just sit it out, wait out, and then as soon as they win the ball back in defence, is just counter-attack, like literally one ball over the top, all it takes. Because when you're pressing and you've got that much possession, naturally you get further and further forward. So even your couple of centre-backs that are covering are like over the halfway line. So it only takes a decent ball and a striker with a bit of pace to go over the top. You know, Man United were accused of playing long ball against Liverpool, but that's the best way of playing against Liverpool. Like, even the big teams have now realised that actually, let's play counter-attacking against Liverpool. Even if we're normally an attacking team, we could get done over, because they're so good at what they do. So we'll just play defensively, lower our defensive line, more people in defence, counter-attack, and we're just getting found out. And it's so painfully obvious that it's crazy. And we just need... I'm a big fan of Jurgen Klopp. I still am. The people shouting for Jurgen Klopp to get sacked... Say hello to Kloppillo. The people saying Jurgen Klopp should get sacked are just idiots, right? Two reasons. He's a very good manager. And also, where do we expect the next manager? Who do we expect the next manager to be? We haven't had Champions League football very much for the last 10 years. What big name manager is going to come in? I think Jurgen Klopp is a brilliant manager. All he needs to do is work out a secondary plan. A plan B. We need a fucking plan B. Whether that's... You know, because at the moment what's happening is that we're getting to the space where we are... The only space we really get is down the wings, like a Milner cutting back and crossing, Klein coming back crossing, and we don't have that natural width of our wide players. They all want to get inside, and so we're crossing balls in. But we don't have a target man. If we had an Andy Carroll, that wouldn't be such a big issue. A Benteke even, although he's shit. I don't want Benteke. But that's what we need, something other than what we're playing, because every team has worked out, we'll just sit back and defend, and we'll counter-attack. And then, I think it was not the Saturday just gone, the week before, Alan Shearer. Alan Shearer on Match of the Day. So, Gary asked him why, Liverpool playing so bad. And his it's quite obvious. I think anybody that has any sort of football knowledge can see why Liverpool playing so bad, why this plan isn't working anymore. But Alan Shearer's like, well, they've got good results against the good teams and bad results against the bad teams. So what it is I just don't think the players are up for it against smaller teams. No, you fucking idiot. That's not it at all. You're such an idiot. That's so lazy punditry to say that. It's absolute bullshit. So that sort of stuff annoys me. And going on the Liverpool official forums, my word, it's a cesspool. I've been a member of the Liverpool forums for like 10 years, right? And I've never made a single post on it because it's a cesspool of horrible people. It's like the extreme end of fans. And this goes to this. Your club probably has the same. I've checked other forums of other clubs, and they're all the same. It's people that seem to enjoy their team being bad, so they can be angry and call for all this shit. Talking about the owners, getting rid of the owners because they're not spending money, getting rid of Klopp because we're doing this and stuff like this. People need to people forget what this club has become. We're not a championship. We don't have a right to be challenging for the Premiership. We haven't fucking won it for donkey's years. Most of my life, we haven't won the Premiership. I've been a supporter for 35 years. And in the last 25 plus years, we barely won anything. The old Champions League sprinkle just to keep us happy. But league-wise, we've got close a couple of times. Woo! So the fact is, at the moment, we're fourth. Man City are currently playing on the they're about to win. So we'll be fifth after this. And at the beginning of the season, I was like, if we get top four, that's an amazing improvement. People are going, oh no, we should be going for the league because we're Liverpool. Fuck off. We haven't been in Champions League for ages. Let's just get in the Champions League. Because that's money. That means players will want to come to us. Don't worry about, the league chase, a league sort of attempt to actually win the league would have been lovely. But as long as I see progress, I don't give a shit. Obviously, the way we're playing at the moment, we're in danger of sort of dropping down to sort of 7th, 8th position, and that would be horrible. But I still think the long-term future of the club is secure. People going on about the owners, getting rid of the owners because we didn't spend any money in January. How the fuck do you know what that was the case? How the fuck can anyone know that the owners didn't say to Jurgen Klopp, look, you've got £30 million to spend here, mate, and Jurgen Klopp just couldn't find the right player, or the player they wanted way too much money for, all that sort of stuff. You can't blame the owners for that. We've got a brand new big bit of stadium, and it's all nice outside. We've got rid of the shitty housing. They've spent a lot of money on this club, and we have spent a lot of money on players over the last good few years. So it's not. I don't blame the owners at all. And I hate the fact that football has become that sort of blame the owner culture because we didn't spend enough money. Is that everybody hates the fact that football's become a big business. Yet as soon as their club doesn't spend a shit ton of money, they're like, "Oh, come on, spend all this money." So you want us to spend all this money but not become a business? Makes no sense to whatsoever. And like I said, Jurgen Klopp, I think, just needs to have a secondary plan, and I think he will. He's an intelligent guy. I think he will find a way of playing. We can't expect to keep playing the same way and get different results. So I think he will sort it out, and I have faith in him. And I much like Man United and stuff, or before the sort of Van Hals and the Golems and stuff like that. I like clubs that pick a manager for the long term. I hate the fact that you pick a manager and go, well, this is not working. Next one, try another one. No, some managers need a lot of time. And Jurgen Klopp is a big fucking manager. And most people, a month ago, 99% of clubs, even I asked Man United fans, and they would have had Jurgen Klopp at their team. So he didn't suddenly become a bad manager. All he needs to do is work out a plan B. And whether that's a couple of summer transfers to give us an extra dimension to our game, maybe somebody that's a bit more of a complete forward. I'm not talking about a big target man, but somebody that actually can play that role as well as others. Still a decent footballer, but a target man, and stuff like that. Just so it gives us that different dimension. And January transfers are horrible generally, right? It's very hard to get right because if there's a good player that you want, you generally have to overspend shit ton to get them. And I'm not one of those people that says, well, just do it. We need it, so just do it. Well, no, because it can still turn out to be a failure and go wrong. So I think you should. I'm not a fan of signing in January unless you absolutely have to. I got asked just before the beginning of January, do you think we'll sign many players this January? I said, I don't think we'll sign a single first-team player. I think we might sign maybe a youngster. If there's some youngster, 18, 19-year-old youngster that we're thinking of for the future, we might do one of those deals. But I don't think we're going to sign any big-name players. And that's proven the case. And I don't mind that. I'm quite a pragmatist when it comes to football and Liverpool. I've lived with it for 35 years. That I just want to see small improvements. And if you take the season as a whole, we're currently sitting in 4th, probably 5th after the Man City game, which is not too bad. We've got a bigger stadium. It looks a lot nicer at Anfield. Doesn't look like a shithole outside the ground anymore. That's nice. Spent a lot of money on the stadium and the infrastructure. We've got more sponsorships than ever, more finances coming in than ever before. So to me, that's progress. On and off the field. Coutinho signed a new deal. All that sort of stuff. I'm not a Man City fan. I'm not a Chelsea fan. I don't want some rich Saudi Arabians to come in and just give us £1 billion to spend. I just want to see growth. I want to see some sort of improvement. And if you look back at the last sort of 5 years, it's been pretty shit, really. We had that one sort of random season with Brendan Rodgers where we came second, but the rest has been same old shit. And as long as I can see progress, which I can, and I believe that Klopp is a good enough manager to work out a different way of playing. It doesn't have to be drastically different, but just give us another option of playing. I think he thought, and I thought this, Daniel Sturridge is a perfect example. Why Daniel Sturridge, sick note, is perpetually injured, right? And okay. And finally, he was coming back from injury, and it looked like, if we just ease him in really gently, almost give him like a pre-season, then he'll get back to fitness. And just treat him with kid gloves, make sure he's okay. That's what we've done. He's getting back to fitness. And I think Jurgen Klopp, as most fans did, everybody knows that Sturridge on form is a sensationally good striker, right? Obviously, he's not healthy enough to be on form that often. So if Daniel Sturridge had come back and just scored the odd goal, I'm not talking about it being sensational, it would have all been fine. And you would have expected Sturridge to do that, being the striker that he is. Now he's fit, getting some goals. But he's not. And I think suddenly everybody's like, whoa, you see, we should have signed another striker in January. Oh, come on. Origi had got 5 in 5. Sturridge was coming back to fitness. Firmino was doing well. If you thought we needed a striker then, that makes no sense. We were doing fine the way the system we played. It just so happens that Firmino and Origi have gone off the boil a bit. Sturridge has just looked like absolute dog shit. But we couldn't have expected any of those three things to suddenly happen. They all looked really good at one point. And I think Sturridge will go at the end of the season. And I think he'll go to a Stoke or somewhere like that. And he could prove, if he stays fit, to be scoring banging goals in for fun. I think the way we play just doesn't suit Daniel Sturridge. He needs to charge around 100. I'm more gutted about Danny Ings being injured than Daniel Sturridge, because Danny Ings is that sort of player. He's a Firmino in that he'll run all day and do all the grunt work and everything like that, but he's more of a striker as well. He's going to finish goals, and I think he could have really worked in Klopp's plan. The fact he got injured was just horrible. So in the summer, I expect a few players to go. I think Lucas, Jurgen Klopp, message to Jurgen, Lucas, not a centre-back. Just because you saw Javier Mascherano do it, a small guy who used to play in defensive midfield, now a centre-back for Barcelona, doesn't mean it will always work. Lucas is not a centre-back. The experiment is done. It didn't work. Move on. I expect the likes of Sturridge and Lucas to leave us in the summer. I think I expect Jurgen to buy a more well-rounded striker. Somebody like, and I'm not saying Diego Costa, because he's an elephant man, but somebody like Diego Costa, somebody that's a very good footballer, he can run all day, but also has a bit of a presence in the air. So if we do need to, hoist some balls into him and stuff like that, then he can do that as well. Firmino is not that person. So that's, I think, the trouble with Firmino's game. But I still have complete faith in Klopp. I think it's crazy to suggest that we should get rid of him, sack him off, sack the owners. If this is what football has become, then Alex Ferguson would have never had a career. He was awful when he went to Man United. People were sort of going, oh look, making jokes on Twitter saying, oh look, Jurgen Klopp's first X amount of games, he had this many points, and so did Van Gaal, and Van Gaal got sacked and stuff like that. Well, how many points did Ferguson get? And other great managers? Just give it some fucking time. Stop being so dickheadish. That's a word now. That's a word. So yeah, that's my Liverpool rant. I hope it improves. obviously we're not going to win the title this season, but I'm used to that. But I'd like us to be in the top 4. Obviously, I think that's the next step up for our game. I think people that are expecting us, people that are angry at us not challenging for the title this year are just stupid. They got carried away and went, oh my God, it's gutting that we were doing well, but Chelsea just amazing at the moment. In any other season, we'd be sitting like 3-4 points off the top. But because Chelsea are just winning games for funsies, they're way ahead. And I think that they deserve to win the league this year. But I think as long as we show progression, last couple of years have been dog shit. So just play a little bit better, find a slightly different system, something that works. At the moment, watching Liverpool is painful because it's like they've got 8 or 9 defenders and we're all around the sort of centre circle and the next sort of 20 yards and we're just going ping, 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 trying to find a way in. But there's no ways in because there's 9 fucking defenders there. And I don't blame the teams for doing that because that's exactly how I would set my team up against Liverpool because it works. I'd have a really pacey striker sitting on the halfway line. I'd have 9 defenders just battling, just holding, stop trying to win the ball high up, just wait for Liverpool to try and cut through you. When you've got so many men, you get the ball back, you just punt it over the top to the striker, and Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Job done. Innit? That's the way to play against Liverpool, and I think that's the single most annoying thing for me is it's so clear. I was going to say it's so clear, even Alan Shearer can see it, but actually he didn't see it. But it's very clear to anybody that's got any knowledge about football how you play. And like I said about the whole, Man United long ball thing or playing defensive, that's the way you do it. Jose Mourinho's not an idiot. He's a horrible, horrible person, but he's not an idiot. And he's just looked at these smaller teams that have got results against us and gone, okay, that works. That's why they're doing it. And I think even the Chelsea game and stuff like that, a lot of their time was counter-attacking because it was like, it works against us. We're shit at it. So stopping the counter-attack. So it doesn't need a massive overhaul. It just needs a tweak of the tactics that maybe that, we change things slightly. Like I said, having more of a complete forward rather than a sort of Firmino, false 90, whatever you want to call it, running about like a maniac. I think somebody that can still win a header and be a bit more of a physical presence as well, if needed. So we have a plan B. At the moment, we just seem to have no plan B because we've got no wingers. Lallana's not a winger. Coutinho's not a winger. Firmino's not a winger. It's just Mane is the only one, and he could supply the more complete forward because he can play as a winger if needed. At the moment, he's sort of playing as this sort of mass of attackers that we use at the moment. But I think he could be perfectly good at being just an out-and-out winger and using his pace and just doing something a bit different. I think that's all we need. But I think it's going to be the summer until we can make those transfers and sign those sort of players. Yeah, just a bit of shit at the moment. But people need to keep things in perspective and just look at we've had a pretty decent season. I think I saw some stat that it was our second highest points in the last 20 years at this point of the season or something like that. Just keep some perspective. Keep thinking of where the club is going, i.e. expanding the stadium. And that might seem boring to you, but it means more money in. It means getting better players, paying bigger wages, all those things which are massively important. Look at China, what they're doing at the moment with wages. So there we go. My rant is done. I just needed to get it out. I wasn't going to do one, but after the hull, I was like, fucking dog shit. Just, please, Jurgen, just, I don't know, one day, have a go at 4-4-2. Go on, just for funsies. Just try it. Nobody will expect it. Play like a normal 4-4-2 just for giggles, right? Even if you don't have the players for it, just give it a go. Go on. Just for funsies. Right, there we go. I'm done. Let me know in the comments what you think of that. Obviously, there's lots of Liverpool fans that follow my channel, so let me know what you think. But also your team. How are your team doing? Where are your errors this season? Why are you not doing so well or doing really great? I'd like to sort of hear from the Chelsea fans because obviously, brand new system for them as well. And they're doing sensationally well. Arsenal, what's happening there? Man United's a weird one for me because it's like, they're undefeated for so many games now, but there's a shit ton of draws. The draws are crazy. And Jose Mourinho needs to stop coming out and say, being all bum hurt because he didn't win the game. You've got to put away your chances. I For me, as an outsider, like I pretend to be no expert on Man United, for me, Rashford, he's a striker. And for me, Ibrahimovic, a brilliant player, but 35 years old, why not have two strikers? Like two proper old school strikers. A really quick one and a target man. Oh my God, it's revolutionary. Oh no, we've been doing that for hundreds of years. But I don't know. I just think I hate the fact that some managers seem to think that strikers can automatically play out on the wings. It's a different job. That doesn't mean you can do it. Like Martial, he had a good game the other day. Didn't see him again. I'd give Ibrahimovic some more support. That's you know, you can't expect him to do everything. He's been amazing this season, but you can't expect him to do everything. And then a little shout out to my hometown team of Bournemouth and how badly they're doing at the moment. Oh my word. They can't defend. It's worse than Liverpool. It is worse than Liverpool. My nephew, who is a season ticket holder, has been for years and years, is just weeping. Every time Bournemouth have to defend, it's awful. They had Nathan Ake on loan from Chelsea, and he was really good for the first half of the season, and then Chelsea recalled him so that he could sit on their bench. That's nice of them. And that's kind of seems to have screwed things up a bit. And yeah, Tyrone Mings, he's awful. Ooh. Right, there you go, guys. That's enough waffling from me. That's 20 minutes of waffling. Jesus Christ, I apologise so much. I need to get out of my system. I feel better after a good rant. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.